John Beltran back in Fort Morgan. Let's get to the Alameda starting lineup. Batting first is the center fielder Hunter Roberts. The shortstop Angel Mojica hits second. Batting third is the second baseman Alex Sanchez. The cleanup hitter is the third baseman Noah Hayes. Batting fifth, the pitcher Daniel Sanchez. Damian Gutierrez, the catcher, hits sixth. The first baseman is Carlos Rosales. He bats seventh. The DH Ruben Moya hits eighth. And Casey Pruitt, the left fielder, bats ninth. For the Mustangs, defensively under head coach Josh Langford, Nate Cage will be at first. The second baseman is Joe Holbeck. Adrian Marquez at third, and between him at short is Grayson Garver. Around the outfield, Kenny Keller in left. The center fielder is Kyle Daniels. Jacob Fritzler in right. Behind the plate is Trey McBride, and on the mound is Trevor Shurtleff. Only a junior, and with Shurtleff and Daniels, a solid 1-2 combination with Daniels, certainly the ace of this team. 344 straight away. And it's a lot deeper down the left field line than the right field line. It's almost a straight line from center to the left field line. It's also 344 down the left field line and only 307 down the right field line. So it certainly favors the left-handed hitter with power. Opening pitch will be brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you? Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. The Mustangs in their home whites and Alameda in their road blacks with the royal blue numerals and white pants. Again, Fort Morgan will play 3 games this week here. They'll have a doubleheader coming up on Friday at 3 o'clock against Fort Lupton, so that's not a home and away. Both games against Fort Lupton will be here in Fort Morgan. As I mentioned earlier, Shurtleff was the winning pitcher. He just about reached that 110-pitch limit against Durango in Game 2 of the season, a Mustang 4-3 win. And so far for Fort Morgan, it's been loss, win, and hopefully they'll won't go back to the L column. They'll get back in the W column. And a lot of times we've seen over the last 3 years that in these home and aways against Colorado 7 League teams, the Mustangs will actually be more dominant on the road. And it will be more of a pitcher's game at home. And they already beat Alameda by 18 runs just 5 days ago. This was supposed to be a Friday game, but we did have inclement weather. And much better weather today. Here's Shurtleff to the opening hitter, Hunter Roberts, the pitch. And that ball hit him. A fastball that rode in on the right-handed hitting center fielder. And just like that, on one pitch, Alameda's got a base runner. That'll send up Angel Mojica, the shortstop. Also batting from the right side. Mojica was 2 for 2. Kyle Daniels gave up just 3 hits on Wednesday, but 2 of those were to Mojica. 2-step lead at first for Roberts. The stretch by Shurtleff. And the offering, and that ball went behind him. And Shurtleff right now doesn't have control of his pitches. One hit the first batter, and the second one went behind the batter. 1 ball and no strikes. McBride will set up towards the outer corner there to give Shurtleff some room. And the throw to first is off the glove of Cage. Down the right field line in foul territory, and to second on the air is going to be Roberts. And we'll give the air there to Cage. Looked like that ball was there on the fly. It was low, but certainly very catchable. So the Mustangs already off to a very poor start here, but it's very early. 1 ball and no strikes. And Shurtleff delivers. And that fastball is upstairs, 2-0. Live in your world, learn in ours at Northeastern. For classes available to you, go to njc.edu. That's Northeastern Junior College. 2 balls and no strikes. Swung on and drilled down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. That's going to drop for a base hit inside the line. Roberts got a late start. Roberts around third. The throw to the plate will be cut off by Cage. And it's an RBI single by Mojica. His 3rd hit against Fort Morgan here in 2 games. And Alameda's on the board. They lead 1-0, just 2 batters into the game. And that'll bring up Alex Sanchez. Hitting from the right side. Yeah, once Shirtliff gets that first out, he'll settle in, but obviously struggling right now, just trying to find the zone. Let's see how big of a lead Mojica takes over at first. About a two-step advantage, the stretch by Shirtliff, and the pitch. And the breaking ball is lined and caught by the second baseman, Holbeck, and he will tag the runner going by. It'll be a double play. 4 unassisted, 2 down. That'll bring up Noah Hayes. That was hit perfectly as Holbeck was going over to cover the bag. 2 down for Noah Hayes, the third baseman. And I'm sure Shirtliff will settle in after that one. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outer half at the knees. And the offering, that's right there as well. Another heater, no balls and 2 strikes. And the offering. Breaking ball is just low and away. 1-2 to the cleanup hitter for Alameda, Noah Hayes. Big strong hitter from the right side. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball. And the inning is over. 1 run for Alameda. They picked up a hit. There was a Mustang error. And nobody left. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning. Alameda 1. And the Mustangs are coming to bat right here on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Batting first will be the center fielder Kyle Daniels. The pitcher Trevor Shirtliff will hit second. Batting third is the catcher Trey McBride. Jacob Fritzland right bats fourth. He drove in 4 runs against Alameda. In the opening meeting, Nate Cage, the first baseman, hits fifth. The left fielder Kenny Keller bats sixth. Adrian Marquez at third hits seventh. Grayson Garver, the shortstop, hits eighth. And Joe Holbeck, the second baseman, bats ninth against the right-hander Daniel Sanchez. Carlos Rosales at first. Alex Sanchez at second. The third baseman is Noah Hayes. Mojica's at short. Casey Pruitt in left. Hunter Robertson center. Isaiah Lawson in right. Damian Gutierrez behind the plate. And the left-handed hitting Daniels awaits the first pitch. And that's taken for a strike down the middle, belt high. It's 0-1. Daniels hitting with an open stance for the left side. That front foot away from the plate as opposed to the back foot. And that fastball's outside. Count levels at 1-1 strike. Alameda's got a 1-0 lead on an RBI single by Angel Mojica. And the pitch swung on and popped up in the infield. The shortstop into shallow center, now giving way to the center fielder Roberts to his right, makes the catch. That ball had a lot more carry, and there's one down for Shirtliff. Shirtliff had a big triple in that 5-run first inning against Alameda in that Mustangs 20-2 win just 5 days ago in Lakewood. But again, this was kind of what happened last year when Fort Morgan would win one game handily on the road. The next game at home would be a lot tougher. Wind by Sanchez and the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Gutierrez setting up on the outside. The offering swung on and fouled to the screen. Count moves to 1-1. Shirtliff made valuable contributions as a sophomore a year ago. One down, the bases empty in the bottom of the first, and a perfect day in Fort Morgan. And the offering swung on and fouled again. Jammed him on that fastball up and in. Count moves to 1-2 strikes. You need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. The wind and the 1-2. Upstairs. Went with a changeup that time. And the count is level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the sun has disappeared, but the temperature is very, very pleasant. Sanchez steps off. Alameda had their first two men on base, and that's how they played it. A run, a hit batsman, an error, and then a base hit by Mojica. The pitch, curveball is over, but low. 3-2 to Trevor Shirtliff. Keep in mind the Mustangs are 40-0 in Colorado 7 League play, dating back to the beginning of the 2013 season. Payoff pitch outside, and Shirtliff walks. That'll bring up McBride, who had 2 triples against Alameda. This guy's just a hoss. Started as a freshman. He's homered already this year. And even though Fort Morgan scored 20 runs against Alameda on Wednesday, they did not hit a home run. But they had a lot of extra base hits. It was a big field there in Lakewood at Kelly McGregor Field. 3-step advantage at first for Shirtliff. The stretch by Sanchez. Long pause there, and the right-hander delivers. Fastball low and away. 1 ball and no strikes, and keep in mind there's a pitch count here that you have to abide by. 110 pitches is the limit, and if the Mustangs can work the right-hander Sanchez, then they'll have to go to the bullpen early. Shirtliff, after some early trouble in the top of the first, got out of it pretty efficiently. We'll update pitch counts as the game wears along. Throw back to first, back in diving is Shirtliff. Again, the count 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the first inning, Alameda with a 1-0 lead. McBride with the open stance for the right side. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted into high left center field. Way back is Roberts. Roberts towards the track. He looks up. It's gone. It's a 2-run homer for McBride. High and deep to left center. Sounded like McBride got under it, but he's got so much power. He rode it over the fence, and the Mustangs lead 2-1 in the bottom of the first inning. That's just a long fly ball, and McBride with a ton of power is able to park it for Fort Morgan. That'll send up Jacob Fritzler. And now it's just launched. Sanchez had a right over the plate for McBride. And the Mustangs now with a 2-1 lead. The pitch and the breaking ball went behind Fritzler. 1 ball and no strikes. And follow us on Twitter at B106. As well as the B106 Facebook page. 1-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball tailing in. And the count is level at 1-1 to the senior right fielder. Fritzler awaits the 1-1 offering from Sanchez. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Got a late swing on the fastball away, and the count is at 1-2. Conversation now between Gutierrez, the catcher, and Sanchez, the pitcher. Bailey Mechanical Heating and Air Conditioning in Sterling is the company that offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Just remember the number, 521-7272. For all your heating and air conditioning, Bailey Mechanical Heating and Air Conditioning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 in. The bases are empty for Fritzler. Sanchez gets the sign from Damian Gutierrez. The pitch swung on and grounded weakly to third. Noah Hayes has got it. He settles. He throws to first in time by half a step. And Fritzler's out number 2. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Nate Cage, a junior. Another guy with a lot of power. Cage had 3 hits and drove in 2 runs last Wednesday. Gutierrez laying down the sign for the opening pitch to this hitter, Cage. And here it is. Swing and a miss and a fastball. thigh high. It's 0-1. Threw it right by the junior first baseman. Sanchez turns and fires. Swing and a miss. Took something off it, up and in. Cage down in the count at 0-2. Alameda grabbed the early lead, but the Mustangs have answered here in the bottom of the first inning. Thanks to a walk and a 2-run homer by McBride. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Went with a breaking ball that time. It remains at 0-2. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town during your visit. You can gas up your vehicle, sit down to lunch, get snacks and your hunting and fishing licenses. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. Everything you need at low prices. And the pitch. Swung on and popped up on the right side in foul territory. The first baseman, Rosales, under it, makes the catch. And that does it for Fort Morgan in the bottom of the first inning. But Trey McBride delivers a 2-run homer. We have played one in Fort Morgan. The score, Fort Morgan 2, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 2-1 Fort Morgan as we head to the second inning in Fort Morgan over the Alameda Pirates as the Mustangs are looking for the season sweep. And for Alameda, they will be sending up the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Daniel Sanchez, Damian Gutierrez, and Carlos Rosales. Here is Sanchez against Shurtleff, who threw just 9 pitches in the opening inning. Check swing, but he went through on the tailing fastball in the inner half. It's 0-1. Both teams have just one hit. They were both hits that drove in runs. The off-speed pitches upstairs. Count is at 1-1 strike. Shurtleff working quickly. Breaking ball is in the dirt. Or did he call it in there? Nope, should be 2-1. Yep. 2-1 strike. Wind and offering. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by Sanchez. The count levels at 2-2. Man, Shurtleff doesn't waste any time. He gets the ball and he fires. That keeps his defense on their toes. That is a called strike 3 with a fastball in the outer half, belt high. And there's one down. That is strikeout number 2 for the junior right-hander. That'll bring up Damian Gutierrez. He was 0 for 2 last Wednesday against the left-hander Kyle Daniels. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball up and in. No balls and 1 strike. Lots of swing and misses so far in this game. We've only played an inning plus. No balls and 1 strike to the catcher for Alameda. The pitch. Swung on and fouled on the breaking ball. To the backstop, it's 0-2 over the backstop. Rominger Jewelry and Gifts is the leader in Northeast Colorado for diamonds, jewelry, watches, and expert in-store jewelry repairs. The breaking ball is high. For service, quality, and value, shop Rominger's in downtown Sterling. 1-2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch. Swing and a foul to the screen on a bender that was diving in the zone. And Gutierrez got a piece of it, staying alive. It's still 1-2. Carlos Rosales hitting from the left side. Looks like he'll be on deck. Is on deck. Wind and pitch. Swung on and fouled on the break on the fastball to the screen. Count remains at 1-2 to Gutierrez. Shurtleff again. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. McBride will have to throw out the hitter and apparently gave himself up unless he fouled it. Did he get a piece of the ball? He must have gotten a piece of the baseball, so he stays right there, 1-2. Man, it was a small piece because it looked like McBride was ready to throw him out to complete the strikeout at first. And the pitch swung on and popped up on the right side. The second baseman, Holbeck, to his left, calls for it near the edge of the grass, makes the catch. And there's 2 down. 2 down for Rosales. Rosales did not play last Wednesday, so this is his first official plate appearance against the Mustangs this season. Righty against lefty. Shurtleff delivers. Swung on and tapped foul up the third base side. Now it's 0-1. And now Shurtleff has retired 4 in a row after the hit batsman and the RBI single that is by Mojica. He's thrown just 22 pitches, 9 in the opening frame and 13 here so far in the second. Over but low with a fastball. The count is level at 1-1. McBride lays down the sign. Shurtleff delivers. Swung on and fouled off to the left. One with a ball that jammed the left-handed hitter. Shurtleff has a nice change of speed and pace. 1-2 to Rosales, the pitch. Breaking ball grounded right back to Shurtleff. He'll toss the first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Shurtleff. He has retired 5 in a row. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. The score, Fort Morgan 2, Alameda 1. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning. The Mustangs lead the Alameda Pirates in Fort Morgan 2-1. And Fort Morgan sends up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Kenny Keller, Adrian Marquez, and Grayson Garver against the right-hander Daniel Sanchez. Both teams have one hit. An RBI single by Mojica for Alameda. 2-run homer for Trey McBride on the Mustang side. The pitch. Oh, and that ball got him in the back. Looked like he tried to break off a curveball, but it didn't do anything but go straight. So both teams have a hit batsman to their credit. That'll send up Marquez, who had just 2 at-bats against Alameda in a DH role. He's the third baseman today for Fort Morgan as the Mustangs look to add on to a 2-1 lead. Gutierrez lays down the sign, setting up on the inside half. And the offering in the dirt, and it goes all the way to the screen. And on the wild pitch, Kenny Keller to second. Now Fort Morgan threatening to score again. In that game in Lakewood last Wednesday, Fort Morgan scored in each of the first 3 innings, were held scoreless in the 4th, and then blew it wide open with 11 runs in the 5th. 1 ball, no strikes. Marquez awaits, opens up that stance a bit. 1-0, and he squares to bunt, but then he takes it for a strike. Count is level at 1-1. Garver on deck, followed by Joe Holbeck. Keller with about a 5-step lead at second. Sanchez looks back. Sanchez looks back again. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mustangs playing their 5th game of the season. Alameda only their 3rd. Alameda defeated Summit 6-5 before that loss to Fort Morgan. As for the Mustangs, they went 1-2 out west to begin the year, then of course beat Alameda. Grocery, meat, and fresh deli counters, floral, pharmacy, Western Union, and public service payments, and 24-hour gas. Your one-stop shop is Brush Grocery Cart at 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Marquez awaits the pitch. Down on the count at 1-2. Looking back. And here it is. And the breaking ball got him on the left elbow. That's 2 hit batsmen to begin the second. And Adrian did a nice job of not leaning into the pitch. He didn't do anything to get out of the way, but it was not in the strike zone anyway. He just took it on the elbow. And with that left elbow guard, he certainly wasn't intimidated getting hit by the ball at all. Grayson Garver will now hit. Grayson was 2 for 3 against Alameda with 2 RBIs. The pitch squaring to bunt and lays it down out in front of the plate. Excellent bunt fielded by the pitcher Sanchez, and no throw to first. Second baseman Alex Sanchez was late covering. A beautiful bunt there by Garver. And the bases are loaded. That's the first hit of the inning for Fort Morgan after the 2 hit batsman. And Joe Holbeck will now hit. Holbeck, in his only plate appearance last Wednesday, walked and then scored in that 11-run 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads 2-1, bottom of the second inning. The infield is playing halfway, sensing that the Mustangs could break it open right now. The stretch by Daniel Sanchez. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Pitch was on the inner half. It's 0-1. Yeah, Sanchez looking for a double play grounder, a strikeout, or an infield pop-up at this point. Holbeck just looking for a seam to extend the 2-1 lead. Holbeck awaits. A long pause by Sanchez. And the offering. Swung on and fisted foul off to the right. And out of play. It's 0-2. Holbeck hitting out of the 9-hole. We'll find out how strong this Mustang lineup is throughout the course of the season once they get some more games under their belt. They've had no problem with offense so far. No balls and 2 strikes. Waving the bat from the right side is Holbeck. The pitch in the dirt. Throw him a changeup there. It's 1-2. Nice block there by Gutierrez. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, the bases loaded. At third is Keller, Marquez at second, Garver at first. Sanchez again with a lengthy pause. And the 1-2 pitch, swung on and grounded foul down the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. Well, they're working up that pitch count. Sanchez has thrown 29 pitches. I mean, there's no way this guy will last 4 or 5 innings. Heck, he might not last 3 if he keeps up this pace. Again, we'll see a 1-2 with the bases loaded. With a long pause, the stretch. And the offering. Inside with a changeup. Count levels at 2-2. Tried to sneak it in on the corner, but to no avail. As opposed to Shurtleff, Sanchez works a lot more deliberately. Shurtleff just takes the balls and fires, that is. 2-2 pitch coming. Here it is. And the breaking ball went to the screen. Keller comes to the plate. He'll score easily. That was about 1.5 feet behind the hitter. He lost total control of the pitch. The other runners advance, and the Mustangs lead 3-1. Yeah, that was ugly. That was very ugly. He definitely wanted to throw a breaking ball, and he got nowhere close to that. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see at the very least if Holbeck can put the ball in play with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Sanchez looks in. Again, a lengthy pause, the pitch. Fisted towards the first baseman and stepping on the bag for the out. And out number 1 is scoring from third base as Marquez. Is Carlos Rosales will give Holbeck the RBI. And Fort Morgan now leads 4-1. Almost looked like he got out of the way of the pitch, but it really didn't matter because he made contact, put it in play, and a run scored. That'll bring up Kyle Daniels. He was retired in the opening frame. Out of the windup will be Sanchez with a runner at third. Yeah, Daniels popped to center to begin the bottom of the first inning. The wind and offering. Changeup down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan with 2 in the first, 2 so far here in the second. And the 1-0 offering. Swung on and popped up again into center field. Hunter Roberts will come in. He'll make the catch. Garver will tag. The throw is going to be cut off now to the plate. The slide, and he's in there. It was cut off by the first baseman, Rosales. Then he threw to the catcher, and sliding in safely as Garver give the sac fly to Daniels. The Mustangs have played at 3 in the second and now lead 5-1. Here is Shurtleff, who scored on the 2-run homer by Trey McBride. As Shirtliff walked in the opening frame. So officially he is 0 for 0. Wind and pitch. Fastball, a strike on the inner half belt high. It's 0-1. Digging back in is Shirtliff. And the offering. Swung on, lined, and that is foul. Down the left field line. He just missed a double. Count moves to 0-2. So the Mustangs already in their second round of hitters in the second inning. No balls, 2 strikes with the bases empty. Shirtliff awaits the pitch. Swing and a miss. Took something off it. Gutierrez drops it, but tagged out. Shirtliff going by. And the inning is over. However, the Mustangs do score 3 runs in the inning. And Fort Morgan picks up a hit. No errors and nobody left. Let's head to the third. Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 5-1 Fort Morgan over Alameda. As we head to the visiting half of the third, it'll be Ruben Moya, Casey Pruitt, and Hunter Roberts against right-hander Trevor Shirtliff, who's retired 5 in a row. Wind and pitch. Fastball is low and away. One ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss and a fastball just below the letters. The count evens at 1-1. He fires. A little bit low and in with a changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Moya, right-handed hitter. 8-9-1 for Alameda in the third. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. That thing was in the dirt. Oh, that was nowhere close. But if they're going to swing at it, you just keep throwing it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shirtliff has a strikeout in each of the first 2 innings. And the offering. Called strike 3 and a breaking ball down the middle. And there's one down here in the third. That's 6 in a row retired by Trevor Shirtliff. And that'll bring up Casey Pruitt. Again, you get that first out, which Shirtliff did, that line drive double play. And mentally, it's changed everything for him. As he picked up his third strikeout. Off-speed pitches away. 1 ball and no strikes to Pruitt, hitting out of the 9-hole. Pruitt was 0 for 1 last Wednesday. The offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the letters. I tell you, this Alameda team is chasing a lot of pitches. No need to throw strikes if you're chasing balls. Breaking ball is in the dirt. Count is at 2-1. We're in the top of the third inning. Fort Morgan with a 5-1 lead. The offering. That is over for a strike at the knees. 2-2. Here comes pitch number 35 for Shirtliff. Swung on and lined into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. A 1-out base hit by Pruitt. The second base hit for Alameda. Yeah, Trevor missed location with that when he hung a curveball and it was out over the middle. Hunter Roberts scored after being hit by a pitch and then taking second on a Mustang error. He now steps in with 1 out in the third. And Fort Morgan leading 5-1. Trevor delivers, squaring to bunt, lays it down foul up the first base side. 1 ball and no strikes. The Mustangs can play 6 more runs and then hold this team down. They could win in 5 as they did in Lakewood. Fort Morgan once again the favorite to win the Colorado 7. They are 3-time league champions. Though to first is a little bit late there as Pruitt is back in standing. No balls, one strike, one on, one out. Top three, Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1. That one is dug out almost by Cage. Another pickoff attempt by Shirtliff. Well, maybe he can get another double play here. Something hit on the ground. Swung on and popped up. The second baseman, Holbeck, to his left, into the grass, makes the catchers 2 down. And that will send up the number 2 hitter in the lineup, Mojica. And he's the only one that has really hurt Fort Morgan pitching. Had 2 hits last Wednesday, then had the RBI single in the first inning of this game. By the way, that McBride homer brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community, keeping banking simple. On the cutting edge of banking, 321 Ensign. See what options you have available. Morgan Federal Bank, there's a difference. First pitch is a fastball for a strike. The stretch by Shirtliff in the offering. Fastball high, runner going to second to throw up the second base side, and Holbeck dives for it. Now, overrunning second was Pruitt, but he's back to the bag. A strong throw there by McBride, but offline up the second base side. So now runner in scoring position with 2 down. And Mojica from the right side awaiting the 1-1 pitch. And here it is. Changeup is away. Count goes to 2-1. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm actually a little bit warm here. I've been waiting for this weather for a while, but I guess when you can't move around, you're just stuck in one spot. It takes on a different definition. 2-1. Upstairs with a fastball, it's 3-1. Now Shirtliff has thrown 41 pitches. Both teams have 2 hits, but the Mustangs have 4 more runs. And the offering. Breaking ball down and away off the glove of McBride to the screen. It's a walk to Mojica. Pruitt to third on the pass ball. Now runners at the corners with 2 down for Alex Sanchez. Sanchez lined into that double play in the opening frame. Yeah, I'm not sure what home plate umpire Joe Baker is motioning. I guess the field umpire, Marv Baker, to position himself a little bit up the second base side, so they've got that squared away. 2 on and 2 out. Shirtliff looks in. Long pause, the pitch. And the fastball is inside the throw to second and no tag. Garver is going to cut it off at short. That ball nearly hit him. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Give the stolen base to Mojica. Would have been interesting had that throw gone through because McBride had a strong throw, but Garver was well out in front of the bag. 1-0 pitch. Swag and a miss. Again, took something off it. Count is leveled at 1-1. Wind and offering. Swing and a miss again. Tied him up on the inner half. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to Sanchez. And the pitch. Fastball is outside. Count moves to 2-2. Shirtliff with a strikeout in each of the first 3 innings. Just needs an out regardless of the way it's made right now. 2-2 pitch. In the dirt. Blocked nicely by McBride with a breaking ball. 3-2. Well, at this point, Shirtliff's got to attack the hitter. 3 balls, 2 strikes out of the windup. And the pitch. Breaking ball is outside. I'm surprised he went with that pitch again. Didn't go after the hitter. He kind of tried to fool him, and he threw 2 consecutive curveballs off the plate, and the bases are loaded for Noah Hayes, who struck out swinging in the first. And Hayes is the tying run at the plate here in the third. And the offering. Fastball is very high. That's the problem. Then you struggle with the zone. And now Trevor has thrown 49 pitches. 1-0. That's a strike at the knees. Took something off it. Count is leveled at 1-1. McBride lays down the sign, the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the screen. That time he challenged it with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Shurtleff knew he had a base open, but he also knew the cleanup hitter was coming up. So he's got to rise to the challenge here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. The base is full of Pirates. The pitch. Swing and a miss up and away. And Alameda is denied here in the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left full of Pirates. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1. This is Mustang Baseball on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. It's a 5-1 lead for Fort Morgan at home as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Trey Home Run McBride, followed by Jacob Fritzler and Nate Cage. McBride with a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 1st inning, giving Fort Morgan the lead that they have expanded upon since then. The heart of the order for the Mustangs. They can really break this thing open now. In the 7 offensive innings against Alameda, they've scored in 6 of them. The pitch, down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to McBride. McBride's got 2 homers this season. And the offering. And he swings and taps it foul towards the Mustang dugout on the 3rd base side. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Get the most comprehensive news, sports, and opinion from the South Platte Sentinel. Visit their website at southplattesentinel.com. 1 ball, 1 strike to the sophomore catcher. Here's the wind by Sanchez, the pitch. Swung on and lifted extremely high into left field. This one will not have the distance. To his left, ranging under it, and making the catch for the first out is Casey Pruitt. That's what I thought happened the first time when McBride hit it, but he actually got enough to leave the yard. This time he did get under it. 1 down for Fritzler, who grounded to 3rd in his first plate appearance. The line score reads as follows. 1 run on 2 hits for Alameda. They've stranded 3. 5 runs on 2 hits for Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan's committed the game's only error. They have not stranded a runner. The pitch swung on and hit in the air on the right side. The second baseman to his left makes the catch as Alex Sanchez brings it in. That jam Fritz from the ball did not have much trajectory. 2 down. And Sanchez needs a quick inning considering what the Mustangs did to him in each of the first 2 innings. Nate Cage popped out to end the first. He now bats for Fort Morgan. And the pitch, fastball. I'm guessing a little bit low. That looked pretty good from here. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, I have no idea where that missed. I think it missed over the plate. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and grounded left side. Backhanded by the shortstop, Mojica. Long throw to first in time. What a play. A beautiful backhanded play by Mojica, and it's a 1-2-3 inning as the Mustangs are done in the 3rd. Let's head to the 4th. It is Fort Morgan 5 and Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan with a 5-1 lead as we head to the top of the 4th inning over the Alameda Pirates. It'll be, let's check out who's coming up here for Alameda in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Daniel Sanchez, followed by Damian Gutierrez and Carlos Rosales. Shurtleff has struck out 4, including Noah Hayes with the bases loaded and the 3rd. The pitch, and the breaking ball is up and in. Sanchez struck out looking in his first plate appearance. Wind and pitch. Fastball is up and in as well, 2-0. Same location, even though he threw a different pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Fort Morgan looking for their 3rd win of the year. The pitch, swing and a foul to the screen on the fastball down the middle. Ball 2, strike 1. And the offering fisted to the screen. Again on the off speed, it's 2-2. Alameda scored their lone run in the first. Fort Morgan with 2 in the first and 3 in the second. Shurtleff ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The offering. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by Sanchez on the fastball. Strikeout number 5. And there's 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning. And Damian Gutierrez steps in. He hit a pop-up to the second baseman Holbeck in his first plate appearance. Shurtleff with a good change of pace. The pitch swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. Daniels to his right makes the grab, and there's 2 down. An easy play for the senior center fielder, and that'll send up the left-handed hitting Carlos Rosales, who grounded back to the mound. Shurtleff getting on a little bit of a roll again. The offering. Breaking ball is line for a base hit into right center field on a hanging curveball, but not too much damage there with 2 outs and the base is empty. That is hit number 3 for Alameda, and Ruben Moya, who struck out looking, will now be the batter for the Pirates. Yeah, I would think at this point, not too much speed at first base by Rosales. You just go after the hitter. Don't even worry about the runner. And the curveball is tapped foul right at the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Moya. And if you can retire him anytime soon, you'll keep this pitch limit in the low 60s. No balls, 1 strike. McBride lays down the sign and the offering. Swing and a miss. He threw the fastball right by Moya. And it's 0-2. Short lead at first for Rosales. He's not going anywhere off the steal. The pitch. That is over the plate for a strike. Took it looking. A fastball at the knees. Strikeout number 6 for Trevor Shurtleff. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. We're nearly halfway through. Well, it depends if the Mustangs can score a lot of runs, and then they can shorten this game. Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Fort Morgan as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mustangs with a 5-1 lead over the Alameda Pirates. Daniel Sanchez kicks and fires. Fastball is up and in to Kenny Keller. Keller was hit by a pitch and scored in a wild pitch in a 3-run second. Sanchez with only 44 pitches. He's thrown fewer than Shurtleff because Shurtleff has 6 strikeouts. The offering. Fastball up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, it's been hot and cold for Sanchez in this game. More cold than hot, although he did throw a scoreless third. And the 2-0. Right there for a strike. Took something off it on the inner half. 2 balls and 1 strike to left fielder Kenny Keller. Laying down the sign is Gutierrez. And the offering. Swung on and fisted foul to the screen. Count moves to 2-2. Keller had a big 2-run single. In fact, he had 2 hits against Alameda last Wednesday when Fort Morgan went on a hit brigade, that is with 19 hits. Easy for me to say. And the 2-2 offering. Swung on and lifted into right center field. To his left is Hunter Roberts. He makes the running catch. And there's 1 down at the bottom of the 4th inning. He covered lots of ground there, but he had a lot of anticipation and was able to flag it down. And Adrian Marquez, who was hit by a pitch, will bat for Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the 4th. Now both pitchers are getting into a rhythm. Fort Morgan obviously has made a lot more contact than Alameda. Sanchez delivers. A strike. Took something off it on the inside corner at the knees. And he's retired 5 in a row, by the way. And has allowed just 2 hits. That's the odd thing. Alameda has 1 more hit than Fort Morgan, but they're down 5-1 because of hit by pitches and some timely hitting. Upstairs with a fastball, and the count is level at 1 strike. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan, Equitable Savings and Loan, with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush, available 24/7 for your banking needs. Equitable Savings and Loan. Wind in the 1-1 pitch. Fastball is outside. Took something off it, actually. It's 2-1. To Adrian Marquez. Marquez away with an open stance from the right side, and here it is. And he swings and hits it in the air down the right field line, but it's drifting foul, and it stays that way. Count is now at 2-2. To Adrian Marquez with one out and the bases empty here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Looking for a hit here, something just to generate some offense. Two balls and two strikes. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is up and in. Didn't break much. Count moves to 3-2. On deck is Grayson Garver. Garver scored one of the 3 runs that Fort Morgan tallied in the second. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and stepping off is Sanchez, who's thrown 32 strikes and 21 balls thus far. Taking time in between pitches here is Sanchez. Man, this guy works very slow. The offering, that is just a little bit low with a changeup, and Marquez walks. Very close, but a nice eye there by Marquez. And here's Grayson Garver, who had a bunt single before scoring 2 innings ago. His single loaded the bases, and Keller scored in a wild pitch. And we had an RBI grounder by Holbeck and a sac fly by Kyle Daniels to stretch. And the pitch. Over but low with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. .55 pitches for Sanchez. That sounds efficient, but man, I'm telling you, it's taken a while to throw one pitch to the next. 1-0. In the dirt, gets away from the catcher Gutierrez up the first baseline, and a second on the wild pitch is Marquez. That just makes it worse. Sanchez will just take even more time holding the runner at second, trying to prevent Fort Morgan's 6th run from scoring. 2 balls, no strikes, with 1 out and 1 on. Sanchez looks back. Garver awaits. And the offering. One behind him to the screen. Second straight wild pitch. Marquez to third. 3 balls and no strikes. And Holbeck is on deck. Yeah, Fort Morgan can somehow score 6 runs over the next 2 innings. They could make this a 5-inning game. Of course, if they do it right now, then hold Alameda, then they could win it in 4.5. And what you do there is you save your pitching. 3-0 to Garver. The offering, squaring to bunt. The ball nearly hit him. It's a walk. Second consecutive walk issued by Sanchez, and now he's lost his rhythm. Holbeck with an RBI grounder his first time up. And now Gutierrez out for a visit. As Sanchez has walked the last 2 hitters and 3 overall. And he's only struck out 1. Yeah, that's it. Just 1 strikeout in the game so far. Man, this is, I tell you, I mean, Alameda's not committed an error, but if I played behind Sanchez, I'd want him to work a little bit faster. Circle L Irrigation, easy for me to say again, offers the latest in valley irrigation technology at 335 East Chestnut, 970-522-8816. Circle L Irrigation. Up and in with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. And now we're getting to the theory that when the walks are reoccurring, that there's nothing better than good baseball, but nothing worse than bad, especially if you can't find the zone here. Holbeck awaits the 1-0 pitch. Long pause. Here it is. Swung on and fisted in the air, caught by the shortstop Mojica. Runner was going to second. He'll throw to first for the double play, and Garver is doubled up. And just like that, the inning comes to an end. Alameda was in trouble, but then all of a sudden, on just one pitch, they get out of that mess. The Mustangs, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the 5th inning. It is Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the top of the 5th inning. The Mustangs lead Alameda 5-1. It'll be 9-1-2. Casey Pruitt, Hunter Roberts, and Angel Mojica against Trevor Shurtleff. 6 strikeouts in the game for the right-hander. The pitch. Fastball, a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Pruitt with a base hit to right in his opening at bat. And the offering. Swinging a foul to the screen on a changeup up in the zone. It is 0-2. Yeah, very unusual line score. Alameda's out hitting Fort Morgan 3-2, but that category doesn't matter. Certainly not as much as runs. No balls and 2 strikes. Shurtleff delivers. Swinging a foul. Again, that pitch was up in the zone. Stays at 0-2. I don't think Shurtleff's going to throw a strike anytime soon if Pruitt is chasing that. Shurtleff gets the sign. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded weakly to third. Marquez charges. Got it on the third hop. Fires to first for the out. And there's 1 down. That'll send up Hunter Roberts, who was hit by a pitch, scored, and then popped to second. The game is just over an hour old. It's moving pretty quickly. We're already in the 5th inning. And Fort Morgan with a 4-run advantage. No runs have been scored since the 2nd. Changeup is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Wind and pitch. That's a strike with a fastball at the knees down the middle. The count is level at 1-1. And a step off. Yeah, big night of sports. No, it's not basketball. It's not baseball. It's Von Miller on Dancing with the Stars. That's the big sporting event for tonight. The pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Went down and in. The count is at 1-2. To the number 1 hitter in this lineup, Hunter Roberts. Shurtleff ready. The pitch. Breaking ball. Way outside in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And McBride is a wall back there. He's going to block everything. 2-2. The offering. That is just a little bit low and away. 1 with a fastball. 3-2 to Roberts. Here's the payoff pitch. Now time is called. I tell you what, I mean, that's a little bit of a late call there. Roberts stepped in and immediately called time. He wasn't in there for more than a second. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Yeah, he went. He took a 3/4 swing at a fastball that was ball 4 well up in the zone. And there's 2 down. And Alameda has not swung a lot of bad pitches, actually. And that's smart of Shurtleff. Don't throw them anywhere in the strike zone if they're going to swing at pitches that are out of the strike zone. Mojica's 1 for 1, a single and a walk. The pitch. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. That was pitch number 73 for Trevor Shurtleff. The offering, low. 2-1. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. The pitch swung on line, and that is going to be a base hit into right center field. Mojica had 2 hits on Wednesday. He has 2 hits today. That's 4 in the game for Alameda. That'll send up Alex Sanchez, who's lined out and walked. It's 0 for 1. Short lead at first for Mojica. The pitch. Fastball, a strike. Just above the knees, it's 0-1. Threw it right down the heart of the plate. Trevor ready. The stretch. And Trevor throws to first. Back in diving is Mojica. No balls, 1 strike here to Sanchez. The pitch. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by him. 0-2. Well, this could be classic Shirtliff if he goes out of the zone. Don't throw anything near the plate. And that is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Might have been given a little bit more of the edge. Strikeout number 8. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And 1 man left. 4.5 complete. Fort Morgan is holding on to a 5-1 lead on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the home half of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Alameda 5-1. Kyle Daniels, Trevor Shirtliff, and Trey McBride against right-hander Daniel Sanchez. Sanchez so far in the game has allowed just 2 hits, but he's walked 3, and he's hit a couple of batters. And one of the 2 hits was a 2-run homer in the first inning from Trey McBride. Daniels is 0 for 1, popped out on a sac fly. The pitch, swung on and grounded on the right side. Second baseman to his left throws to first as Alex Sanchez retires Kyle Daniels for out number 1. Fort Morgan struggling. They've been very good offensively in virtually every game this year, and today were good early. But since the 3-run rally in the second, the Mustangs have been held scoreless. Shirtliff has walked and struck out and scored a run. He's the only Mustang to fan here against Daniel Sanchez. The pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. McBride taking a nice smooth practice swing. He looks like he's ready to launch another one once he gets inside the batter's box. And the 1-0. Swung on and grounded to third. Hayes backhands it, fires to first. 2 down. You got to credit Sanchez doing a heck of a lot better since the early going. McBride with a 2-run blast, followed by a pop-up to the left fielder Pruitt. Fort Morgan had first and third with 1 out in the 4th. And then Holbeck lined into a double play to end that rally. Now here's McBride. McBride has the type of swing where he can probably launch close to 10 homers this season. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Manny was way out in front. That was the ideal pitch to throw McBride. However, he's still got 2 strikes to play with. It's 0-1. Trey digs in. Sanchez fires. Curveball is popped up into shallow center field. Hunter Roberts comes in, gets under it, makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Sanchez. We head to the 6th inning in Fort Morgan, a quick-moving game. It's Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Fort Morgan. Let's head to the 6th inning. Trevor Shirtliff is working on a 4-hitter. He struck out 8. And the Mustangs lead the Alameda Pirates 5-1 as Fort Morgan is going for the season sweep. 6 outs away It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Noah Hayes, Daniel Sanchez, and Damian Gutierrez. Hayes has struck out twice, including with the bases loaded 2 innings ago. And that was really Alameda shot. Actually, that was in the third when he struck out with the bases loaded. Curveball is taken for a strike. That was pitch number 78 for Trevor Shurtleff. Wine in the pitch. Fastball, a strike at the knees. Hayes didn't like that, even though the ball was dropped by McBride. It was still called a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. And the offering upstairs and inside with the off-speed pitch. 1-2. Shurtleff comes home. Curveball down and away. Brenda Robinette is your Farmers Insurance agent. She'll work to provide unique, customized coverage at an affordable price. 522-1341, swung on and fouled. Off to the right on the breaking ball. Count stays at 2-2. Nobody out, the bases empty in the top of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan leads Alameda 5-1. And the pitch upstairs. 3-2. Shurtleff has only walked 1 in the game. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Make it 2 walks. It'll be another payoff pitch, 3-2. And here it is. Swing and a miss and a ball tailing away. Threw it towards the outer edge, but that might have been ball 4. That's another questionable pitch that Alameda swung at. Strikeout number 9 for Trevor Shurtleff. There's 1 down in the 6th inning. And there's no doubt that Alameda, if they're going to get better, they need a lot more plate discipline. Fastball, a strike at the knees. Then they let some of the good ones go by. And Shurtleff doing a very good job of taking advantage. Wine and pitch. Swung on and popped up. The catcher, McBride, is going to give way to the pitcher, Shurtleff, to his left. He makes the catch on the right side of the infield. And there's 2 down. It's like a marriage. It's communication. Good job by McBride and Shurtleff. Damian Gutierrez has popped out twice. He's 0 for 2. He's the 6th place hitter in the lineup stepping in for Alameda. The offering. Curveball is high. 1 ball and no strikes, and the way it looks like it, I should say, he could go the distance. Fastball away. Coming up will be the 90th pitch for Shurtleff. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch. Low. 3-0. Gutierrez will be taking. That's a strike. On the outer half at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. Wind and pitch. Swung on and grounded to third. Marquez plays it off his glove to the shortstop. Garver, throw to first, and it cannot be dug out there by Cage. And the ball skips by him all the way to the screen. And that'll turn into a throwing error there by Garver, extending the inning. The second error committed by Fort Morgan. Had the out been recorded, it would have been 5-6-3 because it went off of Marquez's glove initially. Now the courtesy runner at second will be Joey Vasquez, who started in the game last Wednesday but has not played today. Carlos Rosales is grounded out and singled. The stretch by Shurtleff and the pitch inside. Well, if Trevor doesn't get him out, he's not going to go the distance here because he's got 93 pitches and he can only throw 17 more. The look back and the offering. Swung on and fouled towards the Mustang dugout. On the third base side, the count is level at 1-1. Again, Fort Morgan has just 2 hits in the game. A ball that went about 350 some odd feet A home run by McBride and a ball that went about 7 feet. The bunt by Garver. Swung on and fouled off to the left. Oh, more like 10 or 15 feet. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on. Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 in the top of the 6th inning in Fort Morgan. The stretch by Shirtliff. The pitch swung on and fisted on the ground right back to Shirtliff, and he will underhand it to first, and that's it. Trevor Shirtliff does a nice job once again. No runs, no hits, a Mustang error, and a man left. 5.5 complete. Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs are looking for their first run since the 2nd inning, but Alameda scored in the 1st, and that's been it. Fort Morgan leads 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Jacob Fritzler, Nate Cage, and Kenny Keller against right-hander Daniel Sanchez, who's been very efficient. He's thrown just 65 pitches. However, with only 1 strikeout recorded, he's been able to keep that pitch count low. Fritzler grounded out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. The right-hander kicks and fires, and the ball hit him. I'm not sure he was trying to unleash a fastball, but another hit batsman there. And the Mustangs have been hit, I believe, here by, let's see, is it 3 pitches already? Yeah, that's the 3rd hit batter by Sanchez. Nate Cage will now hit. Well, Fort Morgan could still end the game right now with 5 runs in this, 6 runs in the frame. That would give him a 10-run win. Cage awaits the pitch, squaring to bunt, and he lays it out in front of the plate. Picked up by Sanchez, looks to second, throws to first in time. The sacrifice goes 1-3. And there's 1 down. That's nice fundamental baseball. Call that small ball. Kenny Keller has been hit by a pitch and scored and popped out. Officially 0 for 1. With Fritzler at second and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The stretch by Sanchez. And the pitch swung on and tapped foul right at the plate. Went with a little bit of a bender there. No balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan scored 2 runs in the 1st inning on a 2-run homer by Trey McBride. Then Keller scored on a wild pitch. Joe Holbeck with an RBI grounder, and Kyle Daniels with a sac fly plated Grayson Garver. That's been the scoring for Fort Morgan. Angel Mojica gave Alameda 1-0 lead with an RBI single in the 1st inning. No balls, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. The stretch by Sanchez. And the offering. Swung on and popped into center. Hunter Roberts to his left and makes the catch. Runner will stay as Roberts settled under it easily, and there's 2 down. Adrian Marquez has no official at-bats. Been hit by a pitch and walked. So 0 for 0 so far. Fritzler with a lead at second. Second baseman Alex Sanchez cheating a bit. The stretch. And the offering. A strike with a, well, that must have been a changeup or a curveball. I don't know. There was some strange action on that one. On the inside corner, it's 0-1. Fritzler with a conservative lead at second, awaiting the 0-1 pitch is Marquez. Long pause, the offering, and the breaking ball went behind Marquez. The count is level at 1-1. Yeah, this is definitely Fort Morgan's worst offensive game of the young season, but they did enough in the first 2 innings, and Shirtliff has been very good on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marquez digs in. The stretch. And the pitch. Low and away. One with a heater once again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, they call guys like this human rain delays. They take so long. But it's been working for him. That's all that counts. In the last few innings. Swing and a miss and a pitch in the dirt. 2-2. And Fort Morgan has been held hitless since the 2nd. If Marquez does not come through here, and that'll be 4 consecutive innings that the Mustangs do not generate a hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a man at second. Sanchez delivers in the dirt, blocked by Gutierrez. Well, if he gets on, then obviously Grayson Garver will have a shot. 3-2. I think Gutierrez, when he blocked it, took it in a very vulnerable area. Atwood Steakhouse, home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib and other great specials on Friday and Saturdays. Atwood Steakhouse and Kusky Oil Company in Crook delivers fuel and propane for your farm and home. To stop in or give Butch a call, 886-2121, 886-2121, Kusky Oil Company. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Marquez. The pitch. Swung on and fisted foul on the ground to the third base dugout occupied by Fort Morgan. Remains at 3-2. Marquez settles back into the box. Again, we'll see a payoff pitch. Let's see if it actually pays off for one team or the other. Sanchez delivers. Swung on, line foul down the third base side. One with a slow curve that time, and it fisted Marquez, but he got enough of the baseball to extend the at-bat. Stays at 3-2. Now we're waiting for the ball. I thought we had enough baseballs. Yep. We should. Once again, 3-2 to Adrian Marquez. The stretch by Daniel Sanchez. The pitch. Swung on and grounded to third. Hayes has got it. He sets. He throws to first. Inning over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left in scoring position for Fort Morgan as we head to inning number 7. It's been a 5-1 game since the second inning on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Trevor Shurtleff pitched 6 excellent innings, but now he has been removed from the mound. Jason Widges will now step into pitch. And let's see if I think that might be Shurtleff now at short. And it is. So here we go to the 7th inning. And Fort Morgan holds a 5-1 lead over Alameda. Shurtleff threw just under 100 pitches. And the big, strong right-hander Widges comes in here to close it out. For Fort Morgan, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Ruben Moya, Casey Pruitt, and Hunter Roberts. Moya struck out twice looking. So he's one of the few Alameda Pirates that have taken the good pitches. A lot of them have swung at the bat. They've taken some good ones, but nobody more than Moya. 5 runs on 2 hits for Fort Morgan, and 1 run on 4 hits for Alameda. The Pirates have stranded 6. They've not committed an error. Fort Morgan stranded 2 and committed 2 miscues. Wind by Widges in the pitch. Fastball, a strike on the outer half of the knees. A big, strong kid is Widges. I mean, he towers over a lot of these hitters. The pitch, swing and a miss. Just threw it right by the right-handed hitting Moya. It's 0-2. 9 strikeouts by Shurtleff. Will Widges make it 10? The offering. Breaking ball is lifted into shallow right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. To his right is Fritzer to cut that off. And that was, unfortunately, for Widges, a mistake pitch. He hung an 0-2 breaking ball right out over the middle of the plate. And Casey Pruitt, who has singled and grounded out, will now step into the batter's box. Officially 1 for 2. Fort Morgan has turned a double play. They actually didn't turn it. It was a line drive to Holbeck in the first inning. Throw back to first, back and diving is Moya. Well, Fort Morgan, assuming they win this game in the 7th, they'll be out hit. The offering, squaring to bunt, lays it down foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. Good solid game time-wise, just over an hour and a half so far, and we're already in the 7th inning. No balls and 1 strike. And, man, the weather could not have been any better today. This was awesome. Temperature in the low to mid-70s. Widges at the belt. The 0-1. Strike. Fastball in the outer half. Just above the knees, it's 0-2. Okay, now it's the 2-strike pitch that you got to throw a little bit better this time as opposed to the previous hitter. McBride setting up on the outside corner. The offering. Swing and a miss, and that was away. That was off the corner, but Pruitt went chasing. 1 down. Strikeout number 10 by Fort Morgan right-handers. Hunter Roberts was hit by a pitch. Popped to second and struck out. 0 for 2 in the game. A double play can end it. The pitch. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. I don't think Moya is going to be taking off anytime soon, considering his team is down by 4. Way just looks in, the offering, and he short-armed that, down and away, 2-0. And you got to get this guy because Mojica's on deck, and he's got 4 hits in 2 games against Fort Morgan. 2-0 to Roberts. The pitch. A strike, throw back to first, runner going to second. Cage looking for the tag, then throws to second, and it slides in underneath the glove of Shurtleff. That'll go as a stolen base. Yeah, Cage did not know that the runner took off for second. He applied a swipe tag to a runner that was taking off for that bag. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Roberts, a stolen base for Moya, who made a base running mistake, but it paid off for him that he just kept going and didn't hesitate in between first and second. Moya in scoring position. Alameda is looking for their first run since the first inning. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 down in the 7th. Fort Morgan leads 5-1. The pitch inside with a changeup. 3-1. Yeah, this could get a little bit interesting if Roberts gets on. Because, again, Mojica's got 2 hits, then the heart of the order's coming up after that. 3-1, the pitch. Swung on in line towards left field. Keller's going back, and he makes the leaping catch. Back to second is Moya. There's 2 down. 2 down now for Mojica. That's a big out. Mojica has singled, walked, and singled. He has not been retired in 2 games. He was 2 for 2 Wednesday, 2 for 2 today. The stretch and the offering. A strike, took something off the fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. Moya leads off of second. Widges looks back. And the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by McBride. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Awaiting the pitch is Mojica. Here it is. Swung on line, foul. Down the right side, it's 1-2. And now Alameda's down to their final strike. Trailing by 4. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mojica. Can Fort Morgan retire him once this year? The stretch by Widges. And the pitch. Low and away. 2-2. That's a big lead out there for Moya. Doesn't need to take that big a lead, considering that you need a couple more base runners before the tying run comes to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McBride lays down the sign. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted towards shallow right field. Is going to drop for a base hit. Fritzer will field it on a hop. He'll get the ball back in. Excellent throw caught off by Widges. Runners at the corners. Mojica's got 3 hits in the game. 5 for 5 against Fort Morgan this season. And that's 6 hits overall for Alameda. And now the tying run is on deck. Alex Sanchez is lined out, walked, and struck out looking. And I'm assuming Mojica's got some decent speed over there. I'm assuming they might let him steal second, which would be essentially defensive indifference. And it would eliminate a force play. The stretch, the pitch, breaking ball taken for a strike. Throw back to third. They've got him in a rundown. Throw back to home. And McBride is going to run Moya back and tag him out for the final out. An excellent play by the Mustangs and McBride. And that pickoff is going to go 5-2 to end the game as the Mustangs win it by a score of 5-1. Let's take a 2-minute break. Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals at Morgan Community College. The Mustangs win the game over the Alameda Pirates 5-1. 5 runs on 2 hits. 2 errors, 2 left for Fort Morgan. 1 run on 6 hits, no errors, 7 left for Alameda. The winning pitcher was Trevor Shurtleff. He went 6 innings, allowing 4 hits, striking out 9, and throwing 96 pitches. Daniel Sanchez took the loss. The Mustangs are 2-0 in Colorado 7 league play. 3-2 overall. Alameda drops to 0-2 in league action and 1-2 on the year. Mustangs trailed 1-0 in the first inning on Angel Mojica's RBI single, but then Trey McBride came through with a 2-run homer. In the bottom of the second inning, Kenny Keller scored in a wild pitch. Joe Holbeck with an RBI grounder. Then Kyle Daniels plated Grayson Garver with a sac fly, and that was it. The pitchers took care of the rest, but Fort Morgan wins by a score of 5-1. The Mustangs are back in action coming up on Friday, a doubleheader at 3 o'clock right here on B106 and B106.com when they entertain the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. I'm John Beltran from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. A reminder, you can always follow us on Facebook, on our B106 Facebook page, and on Twitter at B106. Final score once again, Fort Morgan 5, Alameda 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.